as we got some new information out of the president in regards to the newly announced $2,000 stimulus check, the $2,000 dividend distribution, rebate, whatever you want to call it. But the president was out just yesterday, as I talked about in a live stream right away yesterday morning, as the president wrote about this. And I want to give you some more information because the president doubled down yet again today in regards to this $2,000 payment to all of us, everyone, as he is saying. This is very exciting. So I want to talk through the details about this. I've had hundreds of comments coming in across the channel between yesterday on the live streams, down below in the comment section, as well as in the chat box on the live streams. I've had a bunch of questions coming in today on the video that I had out earlier. A lot of people here in this community. And again, just those of you that watch these videos wondering, who's going to get this? Well, according to what the president said today, again, doubling down on this $2,000 payment, he's giving us some glimpse into who's going to be receiving this type of payment, again, in the event that they send this out in the first place, right? So there's a lot of moving parts around this. I want to make that very clear, is that there's just a lot of information around this. We don't have exact dollar amounts as far as what he has determined as high income, but he did indicate a couple groups of individuals in his most recent post today as far as who may actually be getting this. And that's what I want to focus on for you, because again, I know that a lot of you that watch these videos who may be low income, fixed income, middle income individuals are, again, wondering, what about us, right? I've even had a number of questions coming in. What about somebody that has no income as well? I've had a number of those comments coming in, but mostly those of you in this community that watch the videos, again, receiving any type of fixed income benefit administered by Social Security, a ton of you reaching out asking, will we get it as a low income, as a fixed income person? Well, how would it make you feel? Quick question. How would it make you feel if the president specifically said low income? Would you feel happy? Would you feel excited? Would you feel maybe like, oh, there may be some hope here that we would get such a thing? Well, guess what? He did. He did. He very specifically today said low and middle income people. In fact, I have it pulled up right here on my phone. Okay. I will read it to you. Well, I will read back to you what my phone reads to me as far as what he wrote. Again, I have it right here. Hang on. Here we go. I'll show you even. It's right here. This is Truth Social right here. I got it pulled up. This is the post that he made today. Again, I will rehearse not all of it, but just the first little line there as far as what he said. This is on Truth Social right here. So I'm just going to read back to you exactly what he said. The first, like, I don't know, 15 words or whatever it is. We don't have to talk about the whole thing, but let's just talk about what he indicated here. Okay. So remember, yesterday he made that post and said a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high income people, will be paid to everyone. Okay, so very clearly, like I said in the live streams yesterday, a couple key words out of the post that he made yesterday: $2,000 dividend payment, not including high income people, will be paid to everyone. Okay, those are some of the keywords that I like to pull out of that, just because that's what he said there, and just want to focus on that. Okay. Now, let's follow up to the double down that he brought out today in this Truth Social post right here, and I'll tell you exactly what he said here. Okay, I'm going to have my phone read it to me. As you know, I'm blind. I can't see it. I'll have my phone read it to me, and I'll say it back to you. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Rather than me reading it, how about I have my phone read it to you? I'll lower the speed down so it's not reading so fast. I'll turn the volume up, and I'll hold it by the mic, so my phone will literally read it to you, rather than me saying it. How about that? Hang on a second. 55%, 60%. How about this speed? Okay, I will.
All money left over from the $2,000 payments made.
Hang on, maybe this isn't a good idea. Okay, I'll just read it. Sorry, my phone's kind of, it's gonna be kind of hard to understand. Okay.
All money left over from containers. Speaking rate words. All money left over from the $2,000.
Okay, all money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income USA citizens from the massive tariff income. Okay, then he goes on to talk about the tariffs. But that's what he just said today. Okay, all money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income USA citizens. Okay, then he goes on talking about the tariffs. That's what he said, again, right here in this Truth Social post today. Okay, so what did he say here? Something he didn't say yesterday. What he did say yesterday in the post was, everyone not high income people. Today, he's saying low income and middle income people. Okay, sounds good to us, right? That's exactly what a lot of you here in this community have been wondering, which is, what about low income? I mean, I've seen so many comments across the board asking about, like, what about Social Security specifically? What about low income? What about no income? What about seniors? What about people with disabilities? What about somebody that doesn't file a tax return? Again, as I like to say, he did not say a single word about anybody filing a tax return, about anybody collecting Social Security, living on a low income, whatever. All, as I've been saying for literally years about this, is that the only metric that they look at to distribute stimulus in general is always income. That's like the main number one factor that they look at, is what is someone's income. Now, the big question that I want to know yet, and we don't have an answer to as of right now, which is, what do they determine as a high income person? What is the line in the sand? I don't think it's going to be 50,000. I don't think they're going to say somebody living on 50 grand a year is high income. I would say, if I had to guess what they're going to determine as somebody on a high income, I would say probably 75 grand a year, maybe $100,000 a year is what they're going to say as high income. That's a couple 100 million people that would be eligible for this type of payment. Okay. I'm going to set this off to the side. Hang on. Okay, we can come back to this if we want. Okay, so anyway, that's what he indicated yesterday, the $2,000 payment. And then again, today, doubling down on this, indicating low income, middle income people, USA citizens, according to what he said here, okay? Now, let's talk about some other aspects of this. As of right now, according to the research that I was just doing on this, it appears that the United States has brought in about $195 billion in tariff revenues so far this year. It's a lot of money. They're averaging about $1 billion a day, about $30 billion a month, and on track to do about $350 billion over a 12-month period of time. It's a lot. They're also on track to bring in about $3 trillion over the next 10 years, okay, a 10-year period of time. Okay, well, if we look at all the numbers behind this, and again, it really depends where they draw the line as far as what is considered high income, middle income, low income. Like, where do they draw the line to cut people off of this, okay? And that's what I talked about yesterday in the live stream as well. And again, a lot of people in the community just wondering who would be eligible for this. Well, he indicated low income, middle income. Again, we don't know the definition as far as what they're saying for that, but I would anticipate somebody with a $60,000, $70,000 income is not going to be considered high income, just based on what they've done in the past on this, okay? In fact, the average household income last year was 83 grand, 83,000 average income across the country. I can't imagine that they're going to have an income threshold that's below that, or that's, below that, saying, wow, this is high income. I wouldn't say that, because that's the average across the board. So there you go, okay? So that's that. Now, let's just do some rough math on this again for a second. And again, I talked about this in the live stream yesterday, but just think about it for a second here, because based on 85% of the population, which is how many people got the $1,400 stimulus check from about, 5.5 years ago or so, give or take a little bit, back in 2021, right? The $1,400, that went up to 85% of the population. If we look at those same numbers, according to the same statistics about that'd be 284 million people in this country. Okay, 284 million people, that's assuming everybody, including dependents, okay? So anyway, it's a lot of people. Now, if we assume everybody's going to get $2 grand, 284 million multiplied by $2,000 a piece is $568 billion. If we look at the numbers, and I just said a minute ago, the United States has brought in $195 billion so far in tariff revenues. We need $568 billion, more than $500 billion, according to how they cut it as of right now. And again, that number is a very conservative metric, meaning like we're counting a lot of people that may not be eligible, and we don't know the details on the potential dependent either. Okay, so that's a very big number. Realistically, that number would come down quite a bit, probably a couple $100 billion realistically, but let's just use that metric. Okay, they brought in 195 billion. We're like a third of the way there, practically, as far as how much they would actually need to send this out, right? So logically, mathematically, that doesn't work. However, that's on a year-by-year basis, and that's just so far for a fraction of this year. Even if we look at a 1 year period of time, projected $350 billion in the course of a year to bring in through tariff revenues. Well, that's, a little more than 50% of what they need. Okay, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense either. But if we look at it over the 10-year period of time that they're projecting over $3 trillion in tariff revenues, now the numbers work, especially if that 568 billion number that I just threw out there, based on, some arbitrary numbers that we don't even know all the numbers or the stats on yet. Well, if we think about $3 trillion, obviously if that comes down, let's just say that it comes down to $400 billion even, okay, that'd still be a huge number. But over the course of 10 years, if they bring in $3 trillion, 400 billion is a small number. It's a small fraction of that. They could easily swing a $2,000 payment for a lot of people, like a couple 100 million people. That wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? So they could easily do that. Now, as I talked about in the live stream yesterday, I indicated those numbers as well. I had a few people reaching out saying, do you mean we're going to get this in 10 years? No, that's not what this is all about. What they basically need to do is essentially borrow the money today, send it out, and then basically pay it back over time. Okay, so what that would do is technically add to the national debt in order to finance that today or, in the next however long, 6 months, 12 months, however long it would be to send something like this out, whatever the time frame on that would be, they would essentially have to borrow the money, front the money to us, and then ultimately pay it back over time and attach it to the national debt is how they'd have to do that. Okay, so it's not like they have the money up front right here, right now, but they could easily do it simply because they're racking up national debt like a lot every single day, like in the billions a day. It's nuts. If you've ever seen the national debt, what's that thing called? Just the number, whatever. I'm trying to think of it. It's like a gas pump, right? You look at the numbers on a gas pump and they like move so fast you can't even see the numbers, right? Same situation here. Like the national debt is going up just like that fast. So it's kind of where we're at. But for all of those of you that have been wondering about this, thinking, hey, like who's going to be eligible for this? What do they determine as high income? We don't have any numbers yet as far as the actual, the amount of income that it takes to be classified as a high income person. But again, I would indicate probably somewhere around the $75,000 of income for an individual, $150,000 a year as a married couple, because that's the same threshold they used a few years ago. I would anticipate it's probably going to be something very, very similar to that as far as who they would consider as somebody high income. And then anybody under that, as indicated by the president, again, any money left over, as he just wrote this morning, again, on Truth Social, doubling down on the $2,000 dividend payment and the post that he made yesterday, which I covered in videos and in live streams, is this. Today, doubling down on that, indicating that any money left over from the $2,000 payment made to low and middle income USA citizens from the massive tariff income, okay, he just wrote that. And again, I still have it pulled up on my phone right here. Still pulled up. That's right on Truth Social right here, right now. That's what the president wrote today in regards to the post that he made yesterday about this. Okay, so now I want to throw something else out. And again, I know that I probably sound like a broken record because I said this yesterday. But what is this? This is now the fourth time the president has endorsed the idea of sending money out to us in less than a year's time. Since January, the end of January, until now. What is that? 10 months? Not even 10 months from inauguration until now. He has endorsed the idea, the proposal, the plan to distribute money to us in thousands of dollars to us. This is now the fourth time. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again really quickly here because you might be wondering, fourth time, what are you talking about? I'll make them very clear for you right now. February, $5,000 Doge dividend. President endorsed it. August, $600 rebate check. Formally introduced by Josh Hawley, Republican senator out of the state of Missouri, formally introduced under the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025, $600 rebate check. President endorsed it, okay? I made a video about that. Back on October 2nd, so just like a little over a month ago, like 5 weeks ago, President was out in a separate interview, and he indicated a distribution or dividend in the amount of between $1,000 and $2,000. Again, that was October 2nd. I had a video out last week highlighting the clip from the president talking about that. And you could see that as well. And again, that was just I brought that clip back because I had so many people reaching out in the comment section saying, hey, like, where's this clip? I want to hear it. So I brought it back in another video and I said, here's the clip again. Here's the clip so you can hear the president say it himself. Anyway, October 2nd, he said that. Now, yesterday, November 9th? Was yesterday the 9th? I think yesterday's the 9th. Yeah, today's the 10th. Okay. Yesterday, November 9th, the president was out in the morning making a post on Truth Social. This is not the one here. This is Truth Social pulled up. It's not that it's exact post, but I did highlight it in a separate video. But anyway, president was out in that Truth Social post and indicated at least, or a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. So it's exciting to see what's happening here. And again, will he actually do it or not? We don't know. That's still the big wild card here. I want to say something else that I said yesterday. And again, I know that I'm repeating some of the things I said yesterday. And again, I've just had so many comments coming in that I just want to really reiterate some of this. Couple things that I want to point out super fast. This is now the 4th time he's endorsed this, okay? Obviously, I just said that a little while ago. But here's the thing as well. The messaging is great. Messaging is awesome. Sounds very exciting. A lot of us really like this idea. A lot of people are really thinking, hey, this would really, really help with my finances right now. Here's what I want to point out about this. Messaging is awesome. If they do not follow through with this, I'm going to say it's going to be a really, really bad idea. If they do not follow through, considering how many times that they have floated this idea, how many times that this has been presented, if they do not follow through with this, I'm going to say that is a really, really, really bad messaging campaign, right? That's all I want to say. Again, I'm not here to bash the president. I'm not here to take political sides. I don't make political videos, but sometimes because of the nature of the beast, based on what I talk about here, sometimes it has to get a little bit political. But I'm just saying, I'm not here to take sides politically whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. All I'm saying is that if they don't follow through with this, I'm going to say that's a really, really, really bad idea. What I would say, another analogy that I would say, he and they, lawmakers, are basically painting themselves into a corner here. They're in a corner, a very tight corner here. The escape from this would be to fulfill what they're saying and actually do something about this. Because if they don't, what that's going to do is it's going to lose a ton of credibility based on what they're saying. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. I'm just making a point here, and I think we can all probably agree, right? It all of a sudden turns into the kid who cried wolf way too many times, and nobody believes him anymore until he's, just a little, well, whatever. I was going to say something else. Literally, I'll tell you a quick little story. Literally, right before I started making this video, I felt something right here in my pocket on my shirt, and I felt it, and I was like, what's in my pocket? There was a little skeleton in my pocket. I don't know how that got there. There's a little tiny skeleton from Halloween in my pocket. I was going to talk about the little kid crying wolf and turning into a little skeleton because I literally had a little skeleton in my pocket right here on my shirt that I found like 5 minutes before I started this live stream. I don't know how it got there, but anyway, true story. Literally just happened. So funny. I don't know what happened there, but obviously that little skeleton guy is no longer in my pocket. I took him out, but real story. That actually just happened. Okay, anyway, I'm going to... I'm not going to jump into comments right here, right now, but I want you to do this. Drop your comments, your questions, your feedback, anything like that down below. I'm going to have my wife, Corey, come on in and help me out here, but I'm going to say this much. Please subscribe if you have not done so. I will continue to watch all this very, very closely. I will continue to keep you updated on anything going on right now. A lot of things are developing. Again, President said it yesterday. The 4th iteration of the $2,000 stimulus check idea, dividend, whatever you want to call it, doubling down today, talking about low income, middle income people, and all the money left over that is not sent out in the form of a $2,000 payment to these low income or middle income individuals would be basically spent to pay down our debt in this country. But he's acting like there's going to be so much money left over, even after they send out $2,000 payments to low and middle income people, that they can still pay down some of the debt. I don't know. I'm just saying, okay, this is just the facts based on what we know as of right here, right now. This is what we know. Okay, hang on one second here. Hello? Okay, anyway, I was just going to text her. Okay, so anyway, I hope this helps you. Please, again, subscribe if you have not done so. 100% free. Big subscribe button down below. Stay tuned. A lot of things happening right now. Not only all this talk about this whole new dividend, the $2,000 distribution, payment, stimulus check, whatever. There's also a lot of new information coming across about the food stamp and the SNAP crisis that's happening, as well as everything else. It's a very, very busy time right now. Again, please subscribe. I'm going to continue to watch this very closely. As we get more information, I'll bring it to your attention immediately in live streams, in videos, whatever I can. And again, I'll continue to show you new information as it's coming across. and following up to your questions, your comments, your concerns, whatever it happens to be. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, leave your comments down below.